What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffey. This is Duffey Geeks Out, and I'm coming at you with my thoughts on what James Gunn's potential plan could be for the DC studios and all DC properties moving forward. Obviously, there's been a lot of up and downs here, a lot of stories that have made fans upset, a lot of things that have just left people just kind of uncertain across the board about what is going on with DC, right? So I think at the start of this, I just want to talk about what I think is for sure happening this year in DC, and those are the three films we know that are getting released. I'm sorry, four films we know that are getting released. That would be Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. These are all getting released this year, and we really don't know what's going to happen with these things or these characters moving forward, because as far as we can, all the rumors have said is The Flash is one of the best, most anticipated movies from any of the Warner Brothers executives since The Dark Knight. So it's got to be that level of good that they want to keep it around and, potentially even keep Ezra Miller around, even though, Ezra Miller isn't exactly the easiest person to work with right now, at least from a PR standpoint. We know that Jason Momoa just got out of today, I believe, a meeting with James Gunn where he was screaming at the top of his lungs how excited he was moving forward for whatever the hell the meeting was about. I'll get into what I think that meeting was in a few minutes here. And we know that Zach Levi was telling people not to go after James Gunn and Peter Safran on social media because they have a plan that they haven't even unveiled yet, and yet people are already freaking out. So I don't know. And Blue Beetle is testing so well that they took it from an HBO released movie to a theatrical released movie. So they have all these things like in the can, done, ready to go, that they have to release, but yet they still have a slate of films that they need to, reboot, or whatever the term is for what they're trying to do this universe with. And I just, again, it's all been up in the air. What I want to do is talk about what I think James Gunn is going to do with certain projects and how he handled this moving forward, right? So I think the Jason Momoa meeting he had today, Jason Momoa went out as far as saying that he'll always be Aquaman and that he might have the chance to play other characters in the DC universe as well. I think that tipped everything. That one thing he said gives away the whole entire thing of what transpired. I believe that he is in fact done playing Aquaman, but he doesn't want to say that because he's got a movie coming out. He's got to pitch that at the end of this year too, because he wants people to go and see that. First one made $1 billion, so you gotta at least pretend like this movie's part of a franchise or whatever. So I think that there's two things that happened. I think one is Aquaman 2, it was seen by James Gunn, Peter Safran, the Warner Brothers executives, David Zaslav, whoever, and they said, it's really good. We're going to give you Aquaman 3 too. We're going to give you a trilogy and finish it out, right? That very likely could have happened. I think even more likely, since Jason Momoa already said, maybe I'll even play other characters too, was he came out of that meeting today or whenever it happened, I believe it was today, and they told him that he's going to be Lobo moving forward. Now, for those of you who are in the know, and those of you who aren't, I'll explain who Lobo is. Lobo is a space bounty hunter who rides around on a space motorcycle, and he can go toe-to-toe with Superman strength-wise, and is kind of an anti-hero of sorts, because like I said, he's a bounty hunter. He's fucking vulgar and funny, and honestly, if Jason Momoa wasn't Aquaman, he would have been perfectly cast for Lobo. So knowing how much James Gunn loves to take weird characters that, are not necessarily mainstream characters and make them mainstream characters, like we did with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm not surprised at all if it comes out that he is cast Jason Momoa to play Lobo, and there's going to be a Lobo movie coming out. Very much in James Gunn's wheelhouse to cast that character for that. And again, if Momoa plays him, he'll fucking kill it, because he was born to play Lobo. So that's amazing if that is what has happened here. And honestly, if the news came out that he got Lobo and they're going to do Aquaman 3 after Aquaman 2, I'm cool with that too. I have no problem with Jason Momoa becoming two different characters in a universe of sorts, you know? Again, we don't know if it's going to be a hard reboot or what they're going to do with DC like that, but that's one thing that we know is that Jason Momoa was ecstatic about what happened there. I believe Zach Levi's Shazam is probably safe from the cutting board too, or the chopping board. I keep saying that. In my last video, I said cutting board too. The chopping block, because his movie didn't really cross over with any other superheroes. You saw a headless Superman, you know, it could have been anybody. So I'd say he's probably safe too. Blue Beetle has not been released yet, so I'm fairly confident that's a self-contained movie, and if it isn't, you could probably still have time to cut out things that may have, you know, linked to Henry Cavill or Ben Affleck or whatever tie-ins to the old DC were there. And The Flash, they've already announced that they removed a bunch of scenes with, you know, those same people. So I don't know. Maybe you can get away with The Flash still being relevant because it deals with the multiverse in such a way that it will leave off with a post-credit scene with the new Flash of whatever this DC universe they're building stepping in, whether that's Dylan O'Brien or Timothy Chalamet or whoever they're casting to be the new Barry Allen. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Timothy Chalamet since he works, you know, he does a couple big movies with WB and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was him, but who knows? Whoever they decide to put in there instead of Ezra Miller, or if they keep Ezra Miller, I don't know. But if you're looking for a way to kind of get away from everything, it seems like these old guard characters that were so tied into Justice League and tied into, you know, the different Snyder films, it would be hard to keep them around. But who knows? Moving on from that, I want to give a little bit of what I suspect James Gunn will be announcing in his, you know, forthcoming announcement that he's going to do for what his slate is for at least the next, I think he said 5 years, maybe it was, maybe not even 5 years, but whatever his slate is for the next several movies that they're planning on doing. I believe the first thing he will announce is going to be a Superman movie. I believe it will be, if I had to put money on it, I would say it is going to be akin to Superman Earth 1, if anyone's ever read that comic book, the graphic novel. It's a very good graphic. It shows a very young Superman, so if you're stepping away from Henry Cavill and you wanted to go the younger route, you bring somebody in who could play a young 20s, late teens, you know, I guess it's young 20s, Clark Kent / Superman, obviously, and it's got some interesting characters in it. I believe there were 3 Earth 1 graphic novels. The first one had these characters. I'm going to butcher the name. I think it was It's not Dolomite, but I want to say Dolomite because that's just what's popping in my head. But that is definitely not the name of these characters, who are basically like arch enemies of the Kryptonians, like a sister planet, and they were always at war with each other. And they kind of like orchestrate the destruction of Krypton, and they're hunting down the last Kryptonian, who is obviously Clark Kent. They traced his ship back. Very much like a Man of Steel plot, though, so maybe they wouldn't go that route with those characters. But they're very out there, alien-like looking weirdo humans that, or humanoid characters, so I feel like James Gunn could definitely lean into that. But more likely than that is in the second of the Earth 1 stories, you deal with the Parasite, who is a character that absorbs, like, energy and gets pretty much like unstoppable because of that. But I could see James Gunn with his history with, you know, aliens and like Slither and like just like designing a really fucking creepy parasite to start infecting the character that is the parasite and making him into this absorbing creature. So I could see James Gunn going that route 100%. So I imagine that he will announce a Superman movie. It'll be something like that, or because I don't think you want to tip the scales with your origin movie to have Zod again. You don't want to go Brainiac. You don't want to go just Lex Luthor because that would suck. You want some big epic fight, and you're not going to get that with a fucking normal human. But I don't know. I imagine it's going to be something like that. One of these more cosmic threats, or one of these homegrown alien kind of threats that could just pop up that would cause problem for Soups. But it's got to be a young Soup, so he's got to be able to step up and like save the day. So I don't know. I'm excited for that. Whatever the Superman tale they're going to tell is, hopefully he goes into a lot of detail about it, because I really want to know what his source material is going to be for whatever he's considering for this new run of Superman. I don't think you're going to get a Batman announcement, because I believe The Batman, even though it's going to be a standalone series, he's already confirmed that they're going to keep going with that. I don't think he's going to want to hit the ground running with a Batman that will fill the DC Studios like connected universe just yet, because I think you don't want to muddy the water too bad when Matt Reeves is still gearing up to do The Batman 2. And I don't even think they even fucking announced that too. He might announce that they're doing The Batman 2, but I would expect you're not going to get whoever the connected DC Studios universe. They got to come up with a better name for it. It can't be the DC Studios universe. They probably not even calling it. That's what I'm calling it. But whatever this DC universe is going to be, you can't have two Batmans announced right off the bat. So I imagine there's going to be a little bit of time before you get whatever that other Batman is going to be. And then I think likely you will see an announcement for Green Lantern of some kind. I know that they were going to do a Green Lantern show, but I'm pretty sure that's dead. I think James Gunn is the type of person that sees all the potential with the Green Lantern Corps and, the Yellow Lanterns and all the other fucking lanterns that are out there, and telling a really far out there space story. Keep yourself away from Earth. Don't even have it like set there at all. Just have this fun tale of whether it's Hal Jordan or any of the other lanterns that they would bring in. Just have a tale with them off doing Green Lantern shit, like learning to be Green Lantern in space, saving the day, and then end it with him coming back to Earth to patrol his sector or whatever, That's what I imagine, and I imagine you'll probably get an announcement for Peacemaker Season 2, which is obviously getting made. I mean, it was again, one of these connected things, though. It's like it's a James Gunn project, so obviously he doesn't want to cut any of the things that he did. But I don't know. I imagine you'll get a Peacemaker announcement. I imagine you're going to get the Superman announcement. I imagine you'll get a Green Lantern announcement. If I had to put my money on it, you get those, and maybe you get a Lobo one. But that's what I think James Gunn will come to the table with. I could be totally wrong. And I look forward to doing a video post his announcement to go into whatever real detail he has for whatever his projects are going to be. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for my little, I don't even know what this is. I guess it's just a virtual wish list that I'm throwing out there for what I hope he's going to announce. What do you guys think James Gunn's going to come to the table with for his slate of DC films? Do you think any of these characters that are currently alive in the DC EU are going to make the jump, or is it going to be a clean cut? Whatever you thought, let me know in the comments. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll come at you with more thoughts like this as I come to them. Thank you.